Are we going to do the same thing at Baylor? Are we going to do the same thing at Liberty? Are we going to invite more liberal thought to those universities?
I think
now MAGA wants DEI.
Everyone's afraid.
Now they want to be included.
He signed an executive order in the White House saying, investigate 2 individuals who told the truth about the last election.
Let's hop into a CNN panel that is discussing Trump's weaponization of the government we're seeing before our eyes and how hypocritical it is to see after he pretended it was weaponized against him for years. So leave us a like if you can, helps us out a ton, and let's hop right into the discussion.
Well, I totally disagree with the characterization of it. I think Trump supporters and the people who put him in office would say that he's not turning the government into a weapon, he's turning it into a shield. He's shielding the American people from illegal immigration. He's shielding the American people from having their tax dollars used for ridiculous purposes. All of these things that you mentioned, you may call them weaponization, but a lot of people would say we need a shield against a lot of these bad actors and bad institutions.
He didn't address any of the things that I actually did bring up. I mean, he's saying to American universities, you need to admit a certain number of conservatives. I'll
address the universities.
Or you will lose your tax-exempt status. He is saying that he signed an executive order in the White House saying, investigate 2 individuals who told the truth about the last election and criticized me publicly. That is weaponization.
Regarding the universities, first of all, he's creating, I think, a shield.
This is the biggest clown shit of all time. I have no sympathy for this argument. So was Biden's DOJ shielding the American people from a sexual abuser fraud who wanted to trash our Constitution and steal an election? Trump is clearly weaponizing the DOJ to target people, institutions, and frankly, freedoms that he himself doesn't support or see value in. Universities are no longer to be tax exempt or get research and financial aid funding if they have DEI programs or teach Black studies, or if they don't admit enough conservatives. That sounds like affirmative action. Thought that was bad. Those on the January 6th committee are threatened with investigation where Trump is saying the only reason he can is because of Biden's pardon. Sound like Biden was vindicated in the pardons. 2 of Trump's aide who just came out and said, hey, he's lying about 2020. It was never stolen. They're now being investigated. He spoke openly about trying to undo Biden's pardons to go after Hunter Biden and the January 6th committee. So he literally is willing to undo pardons to weaponize the DOJ. I mean, it's so openly and publicly as he's directing the government to do this. I don't see how you could deny it. Like, the argument was Biden was weaponizing the government without publicly or openly stating it. If anything, openly saying, I would not do that. I'm not going to speak on these things, but we can connect these dots behind the scenes and there's these conspiracies that prove and Michael Colangelo. But when Trump is like, hey, DOJ, investigate this guy because he's a Democrat, all of a sudden it's a shield.
Now MAGA wants DEI.
Everyone's afraid.
Now they want to be included. Now they want affirmative action for them. That's cool.
So you
now
admit that you want universities to exclude everyone but the radical
because
left.
There's no proof that they're actually being excluded.
Because
there isn't.
96% of contributions from Harvard faculty went to Democrats. What else you got?
Okay, so you're talking about contribution. I'm talking about
what people's political viewpoints are.
Who is teaching people? So if they were such
I know.
a weapon,
I used to teach there. Believe me.
Okay, so clearly you used to teach there, right?
Yeah, I was treated like an exotic zoo animal. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure.
The faculty is not conservative, believe me.
Oh, okay. So at Harvard, I just imagine all of these conservative politicians that go there, they go there because they don't feel welcome. They just go there to go there.
If you're trying to come on here tonight and argue that Harvard is a hotbed of conservatism,
I'm not.
Lord
I'm just
have mercy.
saying that they're not. So are we going to do the same thing at Baylor? Are we going to do the same thing at Liberty? Are we going to invite more liberal thought to those universities?
I think if public universities or any university taking public funds is violating the civil rights of Jewish students or actively screening out conservatives and conservative viewpoints, we need to have a conversation.
I want to take a moment to really clarify how stupid this is, right? The overwhelming majority of any university students are going to be in state because it's cheaper to go to colleges in state. Harvard is in deep blue Massachusetts. The idea that students might be more liberal, which there's no proof to this, would probably have to do with the fact that they're in a deep blue state. The majority of the population is going to come from that state. Just like, as she's pointed out, more students at Baylor or Texas University are almost definitely going to be conservative. But it is hilarious to now see MAGA and Trump pushing for literal affirmative action, something they said was horrendous when it was addressing the systemic racism against Blacks. But notice how he says nothing about schools with less liberals, because it's literally just about indoctrination and crushing dissent, not equality. Equality with conservatives, let's be so for real.
I think that I become a better debater and a smarter person when I actually get to have discourse with people like you that I don't mostly agree with on the political views. But I also get a seat at the table, and I don't get to be discriminated against, and Black people and brown people and queer people also don't. So if we're going to protect one class, can we agree to protect all classes?
What university is doing that? I agree, but what university is doing that?
I just want to know what
class of people right now on American campuses is facing the kind of pushback that Jewish students are anywhere.
We do know since the affirmative action decision that came down about 18 months ago that the number of people of color who have been admitted to institutions have decreased, because that's a policy that actually ensures.
Do you include Asian students in that, people of color?
Yeah, their numbers are down too.
This is happening all over the country. And before I show you the data, because I'm the guy that shows the data, I have to first point out that conservatives have such a victim mentality that they legitimately think that Black people aren't discriminated against in this country, but that conservatives are. Like, let's just start there and put that out there, that they think that that is a reality. But on to the numbers. Admissions across the board have dropped for people of color at universities since the overturning of affirmative action. Significant amounts as well. MIT saw a 10% drop. Boston University, 6%. Colleges like Harvard even, that are under fire now, have saw drops in African-American admissions since this, despite them having largely the same number of applications. Also, the literature on campus discrimination is pretty fleshed out. For instance, a sample size of 69,000 undergraduates. That is quite representative of the population of America. 95% confidence, that is what you want to see in a study, found that people of color are much more likely to experience discrimination on campuses, and for that discrimination to actually actively affect their academic performance. We know African-American students both receive less grants. They receive grants for less amount of money than on average than white students. So it seems the discrimination exists on all campuses at every level, everywhere across the country. But there is no literature, however, to support the claims that conservatives are discriminated against. I don't think it logically follows. I don't think it follows in literature. And I mean, there is no moral claim to follow. So in the three ways that you would want to qualify a position, you can't qualify that conservatives are discriminated in any of them, but you can easily qualify that Black people are discriminated against both logically and through the literature. But like systemic racism, fake, but conservatives are victim. MAGA can't live inside of logic. There's literally, by the way, 8 members of Trump's cabinet alone that went to Harvard. So it's kind of hilarious to hear Scott Jennings, who also worked at Harvard, try to pretend that like they don't let conservatives in or something.